We are in Rzeplin, some 10 miles north of Kraków. Would we stand here in 1800s all the way into the beginning of 20th century, would be standing precisely in the border in between the two largest empires of that time Europe. So in front of us would be the Austro-Hungarian Empire. We are in the very northern realms of Galicia, which means in the very northern realms of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Behind us would be the Russian Empire. One thing is sure about every frontier and border, especially in Europe, it has to collapse. And of course this one collapsed in World War I, taking millions of lives of usually very benign draftees who became cannon fodder in the imperial fighting of one of the major players of this war. The entire northern rim of Galicia, which became one of the largest and longest front lines of World War I, which people tend to forget, focusing on Western European operations. Yes, all across the northern part of Galicia there were trenches. And right now a couple of hundreds of such little cemeteries, or sometimes larger cemeteries. Here the plaque says that this is a common, unknown mass grave of soldiers of World War I who fell in November and December of 1914 in the fights of the partition powers of Austria and Russia. Let the Polish soil be light to them. The plaque was put in November of 1998, but actually the place was marked already here during World War I. As I said, there are hundreds of such military cemeteries all across Galicia. This one is particularly small, still has the sense of being individual. In most of those cemeteries, while soldiers were buried, whether Austro-Hungarian or Russian, there was a very good identification of names and surnames, and local archives would have those names and surnames. And those are soldiers from all parts of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, in case of Austro-Hungarian Empire. So Poles, Austrians, Czechs, Slovaks, Hungarians, Croats, Slovenians, Serbs, and so on and so forth. Very often they came to this borderland just to die, because this was just the beginning of war. This is November and December of 1914, and nobody even expects how long this massive calamity of 20th century would take. When it comes to Jewish soldiers, and of course there were such draftees as well, when those fell, the Austro-Hungarian army with its burial commission would usually buy plots of land or some parts of the local Jewish cemeteries, change them into military cemeteries and bury those soldiers there, or they would be just buried in such common cemeteries with other soldiers. There is only one that I know in the city called Rzeplin, which was particularly prepared specifically for the Jewish soldiers. And there were Jewish soldiers from the Russian army and from the Austro-Hungarian army.